Malalau mali e ahou e ki moe lelei ai Tonga ona kotoa. Fia ke o taritali lelei ki mo tonu ki ho mo ngahi o ngongo, moe le tio kai o maa televisione Tonga ki he hoani, i he wakaiko ia ki ngahi ulu i o ngongo. Ha e lea e he ena a fifio, a pangai lahi ane afi ki hono whamana tua o i kau sotia, nā nau tō tau lolo tonga tau lahi ulua ki a mamani i loa koe Armistice Day. Mā lolo i tala pō tau hongo fulu mā fitu me te takamotonga tukua ki i he tauna kita. Pea puke mo whakailo he kau polisie whāna wako i tōko torongo fulu mā whawhilawe i me makuku whakaako ne hoko i he wā o iako mālunga lia hona mo i kolis Tonga. Oku iei pe ngahi tala noa kehe na iangi pehe ai ta wakai ki ngahi o ngongo mi he malae o sipoti kai uma ai tu o ngako ia oi ea. Ko e wakailewa eni ki whakai ki iki, ko au liliani polutele. Na e haelea e he ena a fifio King Tupowa na mo kuini na spa ui o wau whakamanatu o i kau sotia, na nau tō tau i he malae o i tau lolo tonga i tau lahi hono uluaki a mamani, i he taha hiwa taha whā, ki he taha hiwa taha walo. Koe o wau tuku pāle koe ni ne whahako peia i he malae pangai lahi aneafi i he maka whakamanatu o i ka kai ko nau tō tau i he tau. Koe o wau whakamawhana eni i he mahino na e whai hono whakapa apai mo na whakamanatua ai o i ngahi mo ui kua mole i he tau uluaki a mamani. I he hilipeto o tā e na awhiwhi o King Tupo Wono mo kuini na spau o ki pangai lahi. Na e whana iai ai me a whana whakaranglangi e kau tau e ne a whio. Kai si longo a pangai o whakahoko ai mo whakarangolongo miniti e ua ko e konga e na whakapa apa ki e ngahi mo oi kua mole. Hilia na e ngona heni ai tangitangi e peukala i hauha onga o i kau whakawhi na e ipangai lahi. Na e ha ele heni e ne a whio King Tupo Wono o tataki anto ai o wau tuku pale ki he maka whakamanatu o i kau sotia kua mole i he tau. Ne hoko atu ki ai kowana siniale o Papua New Guinea, Sir Bob Tatai, e ki palemia tuki tā ai sakeki. Pea hoko atu ai peki e kau whakafonga whakatiporo me tika mi tō pule anga, pehe ki ngahi ako anga eni ihi i Tongatapuni. Oku mahulu e o wauni ke hui oku kei whakamaho inga pe i Tongani, ai ka kai ne nau tō tau i e tau lahi uluaki o mamani, ke hike pole la lahi e ua ki ha whonua o kulelei, ai a kohono tau i o tauhataina mo nofo melino o ha whonua. Ne tō moloto heni i mala e pangai lahi ai whuka tonga mo ngai whuka ko toa pene i ai, ko e whakaha e nau whakapa apa ki teke nau tolo ne nau tō tau i e mala e o tau. Mahino pene ia e kau sotia tonga na e whili ki nau kāwatu ki e tau lahi ko ia i he tau tahiwa tahawalu, pena e mole ai e nau mo ui. Ko e wauni ne me ai mo e tama pirinisi kalauni tu pouto auru kālala, tahine prinsesi kalaunisi na takala, sea o e whalealea no pele he whakawhanua mo e hou e ke whanua mo e kau whakawhi tō lahi. Kua whakapapau i me he poto ngau e polisi ai mole mo ui e talavou ta uhongo fulu maa fitu meita takamotonga tukua ki i ke tauna kita. Ko hono whaha eni e he komanta pe koe tokoni komisiona polisi leo leo. Ko halatoa tauwha ki he ngonga le te otonga i he pongpong e ahoni. Pehe e tauwha ko hili eni hono mao e kau polisi hali poti i e whiawhi tōna ki ko o siu whikau aki mo e kawingani.
Tauko penia i ki heria i fope i lalo i tufmahina. Mimi hana ake peki no foanga koni kau ngau e leo koni kau tau i tufmahina. I vei ai pe ko iena e hoko ai e tana kita koni. Oku tonga lere ngau e kau polisia whatotologi en ki tupuanga koina e hoko ai mo whapapau i pe.
Negai malawa ke toi tuko mai ha whakamatala whakaiki ki whikau aki mo kawingani i mahina oku kei hoko atu whakatotolo ai kau polisi. E whai mo sola ki he sino i pekia ke whapapau i e makatu unga to tonu e ne malolo ka oku te eki ha mahino mai i he lolotongani. Ke heke hike mo ui kua mole o ku kei whamamawha ia i mehe poto ngāo e polisi. Ai mahu inga ke whenga e aki e kakai e whanua i hona wakai i e kawingani aki e nā whewahewahe aki, mo whetokoni aki, mo ataha pe kune whiema o e tokoni ke whakangata a whahinga whakakaukau peheni ke iku o mole ai e nau mo oi. O ku kau whakataha to ngani mo ngāhi whanua o māmani i hono whakailo ngai i he ahoni. Ai aho whawahapule anga o e kau tauhi tohi ai awanga maheni ke whakahoko i he aho ngofolo Novema o e tau kotoa. Ka i he tauni o ku whailonga i whakaloto whanepe e he society ai kau tauhi tohi ko ia tonga ku hike mahu inga o na whatongia ma e whanua. Senolita to i vai mo e whakaiki iki.
I he whaiki eke a ngonga le te o tonga me Palestine Society tauhi tohi a tonga Cliffy he mōle na ane pehe. Kua laka i he tautonga fulltupu e whakawhatongi e society kau tauhi tohi a tonga o tai mu ai e kau mtau tau tauhi tohi i tonga ni. E kai ngā taila o tonga nolelea ki mai ai fuka i he society ko eni, nei me mi paiongo pale mia toko wa i tonga ni ai a ko Tongatapu hiwa tuene toa kone pikia, mo i pale mia lalo tonga Tongatapu ai sake eke. Pehe e hei moli ko te whito i whatongia me tau mua ngā aue ai society ko eni, ko e tokoni ke ngai whamatala tauhi tohi a tonga ni o kau kei whamatala paanga hangai business la lahi.
Ki hono toka ngai, ni o mono si ofi. Re volo koe ngā aue mangai e whika, mangai to'o whatongia koe ki nau tole tauhi tohi. Sanoi da ange peku, iai pia hoi ki maa kakai whanua, kau malai koe ne malai mahu inga au pito ia tau te whito ki hoi o tau whanuan ka pate tau tala noa ki he langa whakalakalaka wha ekonomika mo mea mai ko ne whela wei pe ma mo paanga ia ko taha ne malai ko nau toka ngai taha pe ange pe ko haki kau tata tau pe i ki pe lalai o kau ngai te whatongia koe tō tātau tohi e whetongia mahu inga au pito o wike malu pe pau anga koe sio ki me whapaanga ko ha business po ka ta ia whatokanga mau kupahe sa ti sio whae ni hi ko hili o iku kege nau ngai aki ngai tutuni ngai lao ngai muyako ko whatongia whatau tonu te nau iku kege ngai whitu kege sai ia ange wai ni da bango na si ko ki prison ko tupunga pe me ngai fai hala mo ngai mu ke ngai e fika mo ngai me to tonu ko ngai lao ngai tutuni ko patau tohi
Lo tonga ni na te whamal ala e hei mōre ngai pole mo ngai whainga taa hoko i he kawinga ko ia i hono toka ngai kina ai tauhi tohi i tonga ni.
Ta whaki ko whaka e fika ngai mimu yofi ke to whatongia ko e to tonu ko taha e ngai ka veinga e society tau tonga ni ke ngau whatau tohi ke whawhau e tunga wha profesionale ia pehe whoki ke tumu aki ai mea ko whai to tonu ko taha ne ngai urunganga ko fisfisi mua au pito ne fie mau ko ia i he ngau whatau tohi ko fai to tonu pe o si pore si ai pe ngai pore ia i ngai fata to ia te ia pe ia te sio ke panga o te ngau pe kita ia o nga ke panga mo me o si ai pe foi pore ia te ia ta te fito ki ngai me fa foi tu ange wa te ngai tono no fa panga mo me fa tu dai me ni te ala go nga ke panga ma me o si le ha ke fui fengata ko ya e ka ku fe ma o pito to tata to i e tu mo ke pe ne fa tong ya fa to ton pe mo fa bitnare ki no
O kai Armistice Society ke te longo mo uiang e whānau wako o kuna manako ke ako tauhi tohi, ka hui ka lahi ngai whinga maari ngau e tauhi tohi i tongani, ka aku mōli atu ai kakai ki tu apure anga. Mai ngonga le te ome televisione tonga, ko sanori tātu i vai.
Kua puke mo whakailo e kau polisi e whānau wako e toko tolungo fulumawha I Tongatapu o whakailo whilawe I mai makuku whakaako ne hoko I he tūsite kua o si. O ku kei tau hiai ai toko tolu e malumalu e kau polisi loro tongani ke whakakato e ngahi ngāwe whakalawa ke tiki nau tolu. Ko hirengi eni ai e makuku ne hoko he wāko I whānau wako o iako maalunga lia hona mo e kolistonga. Ka mahino peni iai e toko taha I he tolungo fuluma whākoe ni na e oku ikai ke hako. I he whakamatala ai toko ni komisiona polisi leo leo halatoa tauwha ki hongonga le tio me televisione tongana ni pehe ko e tikite e ua o whakailo a ki e whānau wako koe ni ai au nau I he waha atau tahani ma ki he taha whitu. I toko tolungo fuluma whākoe ni ke toko taha hiwai mia ko maalunga lia hona pea toko tahani ma mihe kolistonga.
Wa ilo ngā tolu e fuho e whaitu whapureanga. Peke whatu moe ue. E ku whampe ke whaha peke e hau eki ka umaka kai whanua. O ku tukupa e potu ngai polisi ke whapapau o ku malu pe hao ai whanau wako pe peke ka kai whanua e ngai whaitu whapureanga. O ku ke tukupa e potu ngai polisi ko pau ke whapapau o ku wau e lao ia ke ni ko nau mau e lao. O si alo e wata maki whakako ia o au ke tukunga o ku ngai lawe au fu lalahi kia ni ku nau o si ngai pōpula. Ta whaampe ke whapapau I pe o ku wau e whikau koea ke tau whanau. Whaampe ke kore pepe mo e tokanga e matua tau whanau. Tau whepōpō waki I he kaweinga koe ni.
O ku te eki mahino mai he loroto ngani e mga tuunga totonu ne hoko I makuku koe ni. Ka mahino pe ai kamata I he wikeni ngai sewi whapule a ngai whanau wako, pe au hoha ai e potu ngau e polisi ke whakamamawhai ki he whanau wako. E mahu I ngau nau kahau I mahino e kei whai pe e he lao hono whatongia.
Ko whaunga ngau e ake potu ngai polisi he koko atu koe ni. Pau pe ke whapapau I ngai video koe ni, o ku whalaraanga. Hoko atureba ki o no puke, pa mono whakailo. No enforce e lao, ke whakapapau o ku responsible, pe o ku tariu e taha kotoa unau mau I lao ki he whamauanga. Ai koe whakamuia ke whakapapau I o ku au e whekau koe ni, ke ngata bea ki he whanau ako, koe halai koe halai te tau fōwai. Mahino pe ai te wesiwi whapureanga, ai taim tatau, o ku kei whamuamua pe po ngai polisia, ai malu pe mo hao tau anga tau no fopa mo merino mo mau ruta. E kai ke hoko ai ngahi excuse, pe koe ngahi makatounga koe ni, ke ne toi taofia ia ai au atu ai lao ki ni ko nau mau e lao.
E ke hoku kei hoko hoka tupe whakatatolo e kau polisi ke kawingani I he wheinga ke whakangata I makuku whakaako I he wā o I whānawa koko hiko malu e nau mo ui pia mau nuta mo melino e nau nofo. Te nau toki hāko toa I he whakamau anga a muiangi. I he toi pe a wike e taha mo lau aho pia whai e whili whalealea I he aho wanoa o I mahina ni. O guoke mo whamamawhai ai me supervisor whai whili e maho inga ai leo mo whili ai toko taha kotoa pe ke whili ho nau whakafofonga ki whalealea. Senolita to I vai mo whai ki iki.
I he whaik eke ango ngā le tio tonga me supervisor whai whili pita woki nane pehe, ko taha ngahi pole kwa I he tau whili kotoa, ko e toko lahi kau le sisita ki he whili. Pia ko iau ki he taimi whili, o ku holo ai toko lahi o ku nau kau ki he whili. Ko tokanga o ku kau ki hene I kai ke mao I ID whafunua, pe koe mole ki mua ai aho whili. Pe he evuki ka mole ID whafunua pe passporti, e malawa pe ke kau I he whili, ka kua pau ke tau mua whawhakawa I koe I ngahi whai anga whili.
Ko ia, o ko whema pe ke lawa ke whai anga whili mo ki kāti ID whakafunua. So pau ku ke mauia lawa pe ke ngawa ko passporti. E ka pau pe ku ke mau pe ku more pe ku hae whai ngā tūkunga ku iai. E ke lawa pe ke whakahoko o whili, mai pe whanki I whonga ku ngāwe aki. e lama peke ngau ea ke ono whakafua kawai kita i ayanga whiri ki lama whai te whiri ka pau wasi asio tohi ngoa i le sita whiri. Koe aku neo be ku tarano ati he ngai whi mau kuente ke toa ke whaianga whiri. Ka pau rewa ku more ngahi ai ti koia. Ia ua te ke rotosi iai ke nofo o alo whiri. Koe whakamu ke lava o mea ke whaianga whiri na ke lava o whai lelei o whiri. Ea pengai whonga tokoni atuai e kau ngau e koe tenau i whaianga whiri ke whakapapau i ku lava whakakato a o whiri.
O ko mahino ko o stapune le sisita ke kau i he whiri i September me wike ko osi, ke ni ihi o te ke le sisita tu o taha, pe ko ni ihi na e tok hoko e nau ta ua taha me September ke mahina ni. Na te uke pe e wuki ai ka kai e whanua ai mahu inga, ke nau kawat i he whiri i he wike kaha o, he ok mahu inga ai leo ai toko tākotoa pe ki whalea lea.
Ke te mai makei e taimini koe whaamu pe ia ke tau ka pau tau o sile sita koe ka kai whiri pa tau lava mua ke ngai whaianga whiri o whai tau whiri e a koe ko tofa ke whai ai whiri mauringa pito e poi whiri e tō tākotoa pe. A koe tui koe me mauringa pe ke tau tōle taimini ke tau whapapau tau lava o whai tau whiri ke a koe whai ai whiri.
I e whamapopo i wike kua osea toko lahi ka kai kua naule sisita ke kau i he whiri o whiunga mo toko no mano whaa whi tupu. Koe ngai whaianga whiri ko toi tonga ni, o whiunga mo ngai whaianga whiri e uangi au taha nima. Mai ngonga le te oma televisione tonga, ko sanori tātu i vai.
O nia ngongo whakalota whanua ia ki hoani ko ngahi o ngongo me mala e o sipoti, hoko mai ia mō piea o lie.
Malomo tau ki whilonga ki koe wakai en ki mala e o e sipoti. Ko whamapau i mei he pēsi i kupe ngaupe o e mamani a ka pulupe World Rugby, ko tesi pē taha i kare tahi ai wamana ke pakihi ai mo Scotland hi ahua tolu e mahina ni, pe koe ahua whāia i he taimi a tonga ni. Whakatau ki ripoti me ine nga pulu tonga he wike ko osi ko maamari e mai squate i kare tahi, ki he tesi pē taha mo ti me Scotland i a ahi koe ni ki Europe. Ko tesi whako ni koe whainga whaosi a Scotland ki he whai tau mawhana, pe mihe ene tesi ai wha he mahinani. Kai tesi pe taha i kare tahi o tātuku ki ai e whiau hini. Ko taha whakene matawaiwai ki ngāhi timi i ki, ko e sisi e taimi ki tesi whawāpure anga ai egu whengamari e lahi ange pe ngai whanua hau e mala eni, hange ko ia ko Nusila mo Australia pe whakengai timi i Europe. Ro tonga ni whako e squate i kare tahi u hange ko ia, na e tuku angea tu e whalaite kua o si, tu e huloni me pia kāpteni penta me funa, pia ui mai mo e hua tutuko e Wallabies, se talekiti mani ki e loki mi sini. Ko e tau torongo fulu mahi vai ni ai forward taha tutuko pe me i he vai ko niu tō ua, mo vai ka asila, pe whoke funga one taka, pe ko e talu pe ni me wanoa taha tolu, ai tesi whawāpure anga whamui mui ko ia a ti mani ma ai Wallabies. E temne tau, ko i mai he whaia ko be whoki a tima whainga nuku ki he tauntua a whakataha ia mo Ansela tu ta voki kai ma a whoki a tu whoki mai a William Havili. Kage ko Josefo sakaria pe taha me ngai grupu pe ngai kalapu ko e whaloto whonua ko toi ui ki he tesi ko ni mo Scotlandi. Kage ko squati he forwardi kui ki a Secret Visi Hoi, Whatongia Paia, Samuela Moli, Samuela Maile, Josefo Sakaria, Philip Kite, ko Pentame Funa, sia te tokolahi, Viriami Nā Paa, Harrison Mataere, se Terekiti Mani, Veikoso Ploniati, Semis Paia, Lotu I Nisi, se siwa moala fotu loko tui, motu pou a fungia. Me tautua a ko Aisea Halo, se asingini Sonatane Takulua, Patrick Pellegrini, William Havili, Ofa Manu Fetoa, Solomon Kata, Tima Whainga Nuku, Ansela Tutavoki, Fine I Nisi, John Dapueluelu, Josaya Unga, mo Daniela Filimone. Na i kona timi man sa moa ne fofo sivi hu fra ausi hei po mama ni wanoa ua fitu. Hiria e nau tau whare i ai timi a Peresili a wha asinga au wike i tūpai a ke kai koe whāwalu ki he hongo furu a neafi. Ko hoko i kuna koe ni ke whainga maari e ai a ha moa ki he wainga e ua kutoi mai. Ai e ko Namibia mo Peresiume kai mahino e hono hala whanonga man sa moa ki Australia hei pu a mama ni. ne whakatahataha e kautoa man Samoa tau whare e pere siume i he konga ulu aki pea pefoki ake kai koe ua hiva ki he nima pere siiria pea toki sila i rewa e ne fuafua i kuna i he kato koe e taimi ake kai koe whawau ki hongo fulu o tongani u kei tala noa i he whanua soka koe ko pere siume e nau tau whare ia Namibia koe taha whakia ngā hi whanua ko iloa ki nau tolu heka pulu unioni ake kai koe ua ki he hongo fulu I hene peheu ke I whia mau he Mount Samoa ke I kuna kotoa ai toenga ngahi vai ngā ke oua e toi vei ua hano puka hano sea ke hipu a mamani o wanoa ua fitu. I he taimne tau pe whoke uk teu a te Mount Samoa ke whipaki pe mo timi ko ia Namibia I he wikeni. Mea kapulu riki ko puka he aitu ai otumotu kuki hano sea ki heipu a mamani a kapulu riki he tau fo o uhia. Hiri hono tuki tau whetongi a timi koe Afrika tonga a neafi sene ake kai koe nima walu ki he ono. E whaari aere rewa e timi riki whawhanua koe o tumotuku ki i e whiahipu a mamani whakataha mo Ingilani, Fiji, France, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Samoa. Tongani kai pefoke e whanua taitari i e hiri koe e tau wa inga whakalapu e tau fo Ko hoko ai hai ai tū koe temi whika taha whaia ke poka mo maono sea ke ipo mamani e whahako koe ki Australia mo Papua New Guinea I he tau fo I he taimne tau pe whoke o ke iai pe ngahi tesi kehe ai o tumotuku ki hanganaki mai he kaha o koe kongai pe moia o e whawhao ki he ipo a mamani. Ka I he taimne tau pe o kui ai mo whenga maari o Afrika Tonga I he ngahi whiahui koe ki mo ai po a mamani o e tau fo nā te mao pe hano sea ki he whiahui koe ipu a mamani. Mei he akapuru unioni, neo ngoi urungia e timi ko ia a Fiji, pe koe Fiji Water Flying Fijians, ake kai koe tahavalu ki he tolu walu a Englani a neafi, kau ku whatoka ngai makehe, ai kau toa ko ia me he timi a Fiji, hange ko kapteni, te vita I gani vere, pe mo toenga o ene timi, iwa inga whaharma mata koe na nau whahako a neafi. O mahino pito pe, ai wā mama o ia poine pampa tohi kai, kai nai hoko e wa inga whaharma mata ko ia Fiji, ke hange ko ne ofongi timi a Ingilani I he tesi ko e nei whahoko a neafi. Na e whahoko he kapteni te tau e ua, pe a pefoki ki e muimui atu kei e so wakula, pefoki a Caleb Mons, mo kau tangata kehe me timi ko e a Fiji. Ka kono pango, na e kuna be Ingilani ai fofua tesi ko e ni. Ko konga fokia e whawhawa e ngahi timi ko ia Unioni he ahi ko ni ki Europe, ai au ko mahino pe, na ia e tautea ke timi ko ia Fiji, o tautea ka te ngai e Joshua Tuisova, pe foki ki a Celestino Rautau Mana, pe mao whenga maria Inglani ai, o tānaki ko ia honau poini ki he papa tohi kai. Kai ke he ku te wata Fiji ke whipaki pe mo timi a France i he wikeni, hange whakoia ki ngahi ola kehe pe me I he ngahi tesi ko ni, na I kuna ai timi ko ia a Afrika Tonga ai e France, kai tau whare e timi ko ia New Zealand, ai timi a Scotland. Pea ko tuku atu he timi riki whawhanua koia a New Zealand, whakatokanga ma mawhau pito ki he te wake ipu a mamani tau fo Hiria e nau tau whare e toa Samoa I he whainolo koia ki he ipu e Pasifiki a Neafi. Ko taha whakene ngai whainga wharama mata, he nei pau ke tāke e toa Samoa, ko taha ki he noa, ki mo e mālolo, ko taha whaa ki he ono. Pe pau ke puke e pehe kiwi, ai kau toa Samoa I he konga whaasi koia e mala eo. Nau I kuna ke kai, ko tolu ono ki e taha whaa. Nei kai ke tue whenga maari e timi koe toa Samoa ko ngā hono wā, pe ange ko nau mamata wa inga I pehe whaani ane kau toa koe me ihe kiwi, o takitau mai e matāpure tonga koe ko nau whahu white. Mahino pe whoki ai tuunga koe o ko iai ai whiauhi, ka ko tuku atu pe me ihe kiwi, ai whatokanga ki toenga ngahi whonua, ko ipu a mamani o tau fo o koe hona whenga maari ke whawhipaki iai a Australia, kai pe whoki ngahi timi ke, ko nau lova atu ke area I hau ko ia o e wanoa ua no. Kage ko e hola whamuimui ia, pea me he timi ko e kiwi neongo o ku ia ngā hingoa lahi. E toki whoki mai ki heipu ko ia a mamani o tau fō hange ko ia ko Jerome Hughes pe moini kehe. Ko e malai be ia o sipoti.
Ko e wakaile wa eni ki tuu ngā oe ea I hona tuku mai me he waa wakai matangi a tonga I whamotu me poto ngā oe Meidek.
Malo lau mare hau eiki pia moe lerei a tonga katoa, tai tari fia ki motor ki e tau whamatala ko ia ki he fia fini. Ngai tānoa lalah le vai no aho whatonga iange. Mai ki alomari e pe ki he kotoa ngahi vai whanua ko ia o tu Tonga. Tai mune le nge whahoko tau ngai whatongia ke ki tua ta tau pei tokanga. Wharehanga pe foki ngā tai. Kai taim ta tau pe te tau whanonga pe moha uha tu umoto ia ngai wheitu. Ki he kotoa pe ngahi vai whanua ko ia o tu Tonga. Makai te wani tau i mi satellite, whatonga nge alatamaki uha ko ia nai whiau mai pe muniwa whaoga pe foki ni o Tongatapu. I he wike ko tau si tu a me ai, ai aku ne mawahe toi pe i he ahoni ka lahi ki alomari e ki niwa whaoga pe foki ni o Tongatapu. Pea ki wawa uha apai, Tongatapu pea mo ewa, alomari e pe tu ki hana taimi au fie tunga langi, malape ki ai moha uha tu mo to holo. Kahi Pasifiki ahoni mako ka hoko mai whatonga iange. Wei pe whaki alatamaki uha vai aku ne ngā unu hope e ria wawa uha apai, Tongatapu pea mo ewa, pea alomari e ngai taimi. Kahi taimi ta tau pe uwhai tokanga ki alatamaki uha koni oku ne ngā unu mai, pai me ta whaki whatonga hifo, ki Tongatapu pea mo ewa i whalaite pea mo tokonaki ko ia whakaosinga i weekendi. Pea ku mui mai pe ai moha alomari e, oku ne toka ki o tau potahi whatonga hifo, ai tene whetuktuka ke tau toka anga matangi o angi pea me he tonga mo tonga ake i e whaosinga i weekendi ki he kotoa pe ngahi, vai whanua pea mo potahi ko ia o tu Tonga, pea moha alomari e tuke pea taime au fia e tunga langi, moha uha tu moto ia ngai wheitu. Kahi tau whanongat ko ia i he fia fini ko ia ki a pongi, whatonga iange, iai pe whangi au fia moha uha tu moto ia ngahi e ria kone o tu Tonga, malape ke lololahi a ngai taimi ke vai whanua ko ia haapai, pea tuke henga taimi alomari e ai tau whanongat ko ia he fia fini ko ki a pongi. Ke iangi pe toka ngā matangi pea me hake mo tonga hake, o au ke maretahi hongo fulu ke tahi ni maki hoa, tau te whito ki wawa uha apai, Tongatapu pea mo ewa, pea hiki aka o ke maretahi wanoa ke hoa, ke potahi ko ia o yongo niwa. Paula la taha koe fua mawhana ke poni, te grise siase wa taha ki Tongatapu pea mo ewa, pea o peke te grise siase wa wha ki he yongo niwa. Whamatala ea le wani ka pongpongi, whatonga engi te tau kei whia pe moha au fia e tunga langi a ngai taimi, malape kei moha uha tu mo to holo. Ke iangi pe toka ngā matangi pea me hake mo tonga hake o au ke maretahi, hongo fulu ke tahi ni maki he hoa, ke kotoa pe ngai potahi ko ia o tu Tonga. Walunga taha koe fua mawhana ke pongpongi, tigri se siase wa walu ki Tongatapu pea mo ewa, pea upeke tigri se siasi, tolu noa ki niwa fo'ou. Tai mihua pea moe mamaha koe o tahi, tau maari e hawhe taha ua tu apo koe poni, maha toka ia hako totonu ko ia ai ono a hengi. Koe la a moe mahina, whatonga ingi amana ke hopo la a pongpongi, toi minte fitu ki he ono a pongpongi, pea toi ia toi minte wha ki he fitu e fiafipe ko ia pongpongi. Hopo mahina toi minte taha ki taha ua tu apo koe poni, pea toi mahina i osi minte tolu, pea mi he taha a pongpongi. Whaospea tau wakai ki e tau whamatala ea koe ki he aho e nima ka hoko mai ki Nuku'alofa, o kamata he pule lulu koe weekendi, ki e sāpate ko ia whaosinga i pe o wike. Lahi ki almari e pe tuke ngā taime au fia e tunga langi, malape gai moha uha tu umo to holo, tau te whito ki e pule lulu, to pe lulu pea moe whalaite. Malunga taha koe wha mawhana ki aho ni maka hoko mai ki Nuku'alofa, te grise siase wano ki he ua walu. Koe kakato ia e tau whamatala ea, malo o pito ho mau mea mai, ka mau mea.
Ko e whakamatala e apia ki e hoa ni ka tau toi wakaingi pihe ki ngahi ulu i o ngongo. Ha e lea e he ena a whiwhio a pangai lahi ane afu ki hono whamana tua o e kau sotia nā nau tō tau lolo tonga tau lahi ulu aki a mamani i noa koe Armistice Day. Malolo i tala pou tau hono fulu maa fitu me te takamotonga tuku aki ki he tau na kita. Pea puke mo whakailo he kau polisi whana wako i tōko tonu fulu maa whawhiawe i me makuku whakaako ne hoko i he wā o iako mālu ngā lia hona mo e kolis tonga. Mo e ke kato i pia o e ngahi o ngongo me leti o kai o maa televisioni tonga ki he howani mo whakaamu ne au taki kotoa atu pia ki ala te whane kotoa. Kai malo e tau ke i whiau mai ka mo mea.
Good evening and welcome to your English news package with radio and television Tonga news for tonight. Making headlines, His Majesty's Armed Forces joined many countries around the world in marking Armistice Day yesterday. 17-year-old boy from the Tonga dies allegedly suicide. And 34 students from Liahona High School and Tonga College charged following school brawls last week. We'll hear these and more stories later on in the bulletin, together with sports, to wrap up with the latest weather updates. Now for the stories in details. Their Majesties King Tupo VI and Queen Anasipau were at the Senate 12 in Pangailahi yesterday to honor those who lost their lives during the World War I in 1994 to 1998. Agnes Wambua with more on that story.
Armistice Day, also known as Remembrance Day, is observed annually to commemorate the end of World War I and to honor the sacrifices of military personnel, fostering a spirit of remembrance and peace across the globe. After Their Majesty's arrival at Pangailahi, all the participants observed the firing of gun and the sound of the bugle. During the program, a 2-minute moment of silence was observed to remember those who died in war. Wreaths were then laid at the cenotaph, led by His Majesty King Tupo VI, followed by the Governor-General of Papua New Guinea, the government and the members of the diplomatic corps. All flags were flown at half-mast during the Remembrance Sunday commemoration. It is simultaneously a day of glory and a day of sorrow as countless people lost their lives. However, after all the sacrifices, the end of this dire situation is truly a joy. There were Tongans who were part of the World War I operating in France in 1918. The Armistice is an agreement to end the fighting of the First World War as a prelude to peace negotiations. Speaking for Radio and Television Tonga News, I'm Agnes Wambua.
A 17-year-old boy from the Tonga died last week, allegedly by suicide. This was confirmed by the Acting Deputy Police Commissioner, Nuku'alofa, to Radio Tonga News this morning. The deceased was an officer of His Majesty's Armed Forces. The Alpha said police received the report on Saturday evening. Officers responded and found him dead near a lake in the Tofmahina area. Police have not provided further information as investigations continue. A post-mortem examination will be conducted to confirm the case of death. Tonga joins other countries around the world in marking the International Accountant Day. Every November 10th is the day dedicated to accountants. The Tonga Society of Accountants is marking the important day locally. Let's take a look.
Speaking to Radio Tonga News, the president of the Tonga Society of Accounts, Kilifi Muli, says the society has been carrying out its duties for over 30 years, leading the professional accounting field in Tonga. He adds that among those who have been members of the society are 2 former prime ministers of Tonga, the late Dr. Pohiva Tuit Onetoa and the current Prime Minister Dr. Aisake Eke. Accountants continue to play a vital role in ensuring financial transparency, accountability, and economic growth across all sectors of society. Heimuli explains that accounts are involved in a wide range of services, from preparing and auditing financial statements to managing budgets, advising on tax compliance, and ensuring that organizations meet both local and international financial standards. In Tonga, the work of accountants has expanded beyond traditional bookkeeping, with many professionals now specializing in areas such as financial management, auditing, risk assessment, and business consultancy. The Tonga Society of Accountants continues to encourage young people to pursue studies in accounting, noting that there is a growing demand for qualified professionals in the field both in Tonga and abroad. He added that the society aims to further encourage the students and support those who are interested in studying accounting, since there are many opportunities in the accounting profession in Tonga, though many people continue to migrate overseas. Speaking for Radio and Television Tonga News, I'm Agnes Wambua.
34 students from Tonga College Adele and Liahona High School have been charged in relation with a school brawl that occurred last Tuesday, following the march marking the 150th anniversary of the Constitution. This was confirmed by the Acting Deputy Police Commissioner, Tonga to Radio Tonga News this morning.
The incident took place near the East Bus Station. Tonga says 19 of the students involved are from Liahona High School, while 15 are from Tonga College. 3 of the students are currently remanded in police custody as investigations continue. They have been charged with 2 counts, including fighting in a public place and disruptive behavior. They are due to appear in court at a later date. With final examinations taking place this week for Form 1 to Form 7, Taufa also reminded the importance of students to fully comply with the law. He said while students' exams are crucial for their future, students must understand that their studies will not be an excuse to avoid the consequences for breaking the law. Taufa says this is part of their effort in trying to present school brawls in Tonga to ensure the safety and peace within the schools and communities. As investigations continue, police urge the public, school authorities and parents to remain vigilant and cooperate in the effort to stop violence in schools. Speaking for Radio and Television Tonga News, I'm Agnes Wambua.
With just one more week and few days to go before the general election, the supervisor of the election has emphasized the importance of every person's voice and vote in choosing their representative to Parliament. Let's take a look. Speaking to Radio Tonga News, the supervisor of the Electoral Commission Office, Peter Vuki, says the opportunity for new voters to register to take part in the upcoming general election on the 20th of this month has now closed as of yesterday afternoon. Voters' registration had closed on September 80th, but late registration was still available up until yesterday for the first-time voters to register. The opportunity had remained open for new voters' registration for those who had never registered before or turned 21 years of age between September and this month. Vuki says that the registration shows an increase in the number of people registered to vote. It is also clear that the number of female voters remain slightly higher, accounting for 51%, while male voters make up 49%. The registration reflects the population growth, and this expansion had also been reflected in the number of people joining their respective constituency to vote. There are 215 polling stations across the country. Through final locations will be confirmed at a later date. Meanwhile, campaign programs of candidates contesting the general election in November 20th are currently in full swing and will come to an end 24 hours before the voting process opens on the 20th, meaning all campaign materials and advertisement must be removed. During the 24 hours period, no candidate campaign messages or program may be broadcast on any media outlets or post on social media, with candidates in breach of this law at risk of facing penalties under the election regulation. And that's it from local scenes. Sport is up next after this break with Pia Olie. Stay listening.
Welcome back in sport. The Tonga Rugby Union has released the national Ikaritai squad to face Scotland on the 23rd of this month in the autumn series. This will be Tonga's only test during the year and tour to Europe. Unlike other Tier 1 nations who have 2 or more matches scheduled, Tonga will have just this single test against Scotland. The Scots will be playing their 4th and final test of the season, while for Tonga, it's the only international fixture on their calendar. This limited test exposure continues to be a challenge for Tier 2 nations like Tonga, who have fewer opportunities to compete at the top level compared to teams such as New Zealand and Australia. Captain Ben Tamefuna will again lead the side, while former Wallaby lock Sitaleki Timani returns to the national team. The 39-year-old, originally from Niue and now Tonga, last played for Australia in 2013. The former Tonga College forward, now based in France, will be the oldest player in the squad. Meanwhile, in the backs, Timo Whainga-Nuku, Latu and William Havili returned to strengthen the lineup with several key players, including Charles Pudau, unavailable. The only local paced player named is Sosefo Sakalia, who will join the squad for preparations to face Scotland. The full team are in forwards: Sigrid Visihoi, Fatongia Paya, Samuel Moli, Siwa Maile, Sosefo Sakalia, Felipe Kite, Bendame Furna, Sede Tokolahi, William Napaa, Harrison Mataele, Sitalekiti Mani, Veikoso Poloniati, Semis Paya, Lotu Inisi, Siwa Moala, Fotulokotui, and Tupo Wafungia. And from the banks are Aise Halo, Xiaosingini, Sonatane Takulua, Beswick Pellegrini, William Havili, Ofamano Fetoa, Solomon Kata, Timo Whainga-Nuku, Angela Tutavuki, Fine Inisi, John Tapueluelu, Josiah Onga, and Daniela Filimone. The Manu Samoa have opened their 2027 Rugby World Cup qualifying campaign with a convincing win over Brazil. Samoa defeated Brazil 48-10 in their opening match of the final qualifying tournament in Dubai. The victory gives Samoa one win from 3 games needed to qualify for the 2027 World Cup in Australia. Samoa had earlier missed qualifications through the Pacific Nations Cup and the series against Chile, so this tournament is the last chance to make the World Cup. Fullback Jacob Umanga opened the scoring, converting his own try before adding another penalty. Despite a yellow card to Manu, Samoa dominated with Va'afawese Maliko also crossing before halftime to lead 29-5 at the break. In the second half, Melani Nanai, Jacopo Mapu and Manu added more tries, with Umanga converting both to take the score to 48-5. In the other match, Belgium caused a major upset, beating Namibia 22-10. That means Namibia must beat Samoa next to stay in contention, while a Samoa win will confirm their 2027 World Cup spot. In Rugby League, the Cook Islands have secured their place in the 2026 Rugby World Cup after a dominant win over South Africa. This follows a thrilling win over South Africa 58-6 at yesterday's qualifying match at Comeback Stadium in Sydney. The win confirms the I2 as one of the 14 nations competing in next year's tournament. The NRL player a major burst of the game to lead 20-6 at halftime. Meanwhile, Paul Alperk, Davy Moale, Ezan Masters and Marata Nugore all crossed for tries in the opening half. South Africa's Luke Pereira de Vliek scored their only try, while Adam Parry was sent to the sin bin for a shoulder charge. The Cook Islanders dominated the second half with tries from Iro, Brendan Piakura, Cases Cowley, Mason Teague, and Rua Ngatikaura. The 2026 Rugby League World Cup will be hosted by Australia and Papua New Guinea. In Rugby Union, the Flying Fiji lost 38-18 to England yesterday, but impressed with their attacking play. Captain David Aikanvere, Peter Sowakula, and winger Salesi Rayasi all delivered standout performances, each rated 8 out of 10. Ikanvere scored twice, first from a rolling maul and again after halftime, while Sowakula set up Kalamuns for Fiji's second try. Rayasi was electric on the counter-attack, beating 6 defenders and pressuring the English defence. However, discipline proved costly with yellow cards to Joshua Tuisoma and Salentino Ramadamanda, allowing England to pull away late in the match. Meanwhile, coach Mick Parney says the team will build on their strong and attacking shape and set-piece improvements as they prepare to face France this week in local time. And New Zealand have sent a strong message ahead of next year's Rugby World Cup, claiming the Pacific Cup with a powerful win over Samoa. The Kiwis came from behind to beat Samoa 36-14 after trailing 12-0 early and 14-6 at halftime. They scored 5 unanswered tries in the second half to seal the victory and deny Samoa their first international title. Lyndon Brown was named man of the match for the third time in straight game, setting out 3 tries and impressing ahead of this move to Newcastle. Nafahu White and Eric Clark also start, leading a mobile Kiwi back that dominated through offloads and defense. The win was extra special for veteran Kieran Foran, who ended his 17th-season career lifting an international trophy. After being overlooked in recent years, this Pacific Cup victory reminds fans that Kiwis remain serious World Cup contenders, especially with Jerome Hitches set to return next season. And there's sports news.
That was the latest from sports with Bia Olie. Now looking at the latest weather update to be presented by the Tonga Meteorological Services.
Good evening, Tonga. Welcome back to our weather forecast from Tonga Met Services. Our main story for this evening, we expect fine weather for all of Tonga. It is great for outdoor activities, but please take note, a possible showers of rain for all of Tonga land areas. Looking for a satellite imagery, as you can see there is a thick cloud bands lies to the east of Tongatapu, and it is expected to continue moving eastwards away from our area of responsibility with a mainly fine weather over Nuku'alofa and Tongatapu. Looking for Vava'u Ha'apai, Tongatapu and Ewa, mainly fine apart from cloudy periods with possible isolated showers. Across the region the next 5 days, there is a fair bit of low clouds moving in from the southwest with an occasional showers over Vava'u Ha'apai, Tongatapu and Ewa, but we are now concerned on this trough moving from the southwest, and it is expected to approaching Tongatapu and Ewa by Friday and Saturday the end of this week, followed by the high pressure system lies to the southwest of the group, which circulates a south to southeasterly wind flow across the kingdom of Tonga with a mainly fine weather starting next week for all of Tonga. Let's bring the weather closer to home into Island Division. From this evening to early tomorrow morning, we expect a cloudy period with a possible scattered showers over to the kingdom of Tonga. For the winds, east to southeasterly winds, 10 to 15 knots for Vava'u Ha'apai, Tongatapu and Ewa coastal waters, rising up to 20 knots for Nuku'alofa and Tongatapu coastal waters. And the overnight minimum temperature, 21 degrees Celsius for Tongatapu and Ewa, and across to the Niuas of around 24 degrees Celsius. Forecast for tomorrow, we expect a similar condition with a mainly fine apart from cloudy periods with a possible scattered showers for all of Tonga, especially for Vava'u Ha'apai, Tongatapu and Ewa. East to southeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, rising up to 20 knots for all of Tonga coastal waters. The maximum temperature for tomorrow, 28 degrees Celsius for Tongatapu and Ewa, across to the Niuas of around 30 degrees Celsius. For the tide prediction, high tide 11:30 p.m. by tonight, low tide at 6 o'clock by tomorrow morning. Sun and moon, sun will rise at 5:53 a.m. tomorrow morning and will set at 6:56 p.m. tomorrow evening. Moonrise 1 minute to 12 midnight tonight, and moon set at 3 minutes past 11 by tomorrow morning. Wrapping up with our 5 days outlook for Nuku'alofa starting this Wednesday until Sunday the end of this week, we expect a cloudy condition with a possible scattered showers in the next 5 days for Nuku'alofa. The maximum temperature of around 26 to 28 degrees Celsius. Malo Apito, see you next time.
That was the latest weather update for tonight, and that wraps up this evening news bulletin. But before we part, here's one final look at tonight's top stories. His Majesty's Armed Forces joined many countries around the world in marking Armistice Day yesterday. 17-year-old boy from the Tonga dies allegedly suicide, and 34 students from Liahona High School and Tonga College charged following school brawls last week. That's it for tonight. Thank you for your company. I'm Simalita Ivan. Good evening.